Hi, I'm Priyadarshini. I'm a UX UI trainer. So in this video, we are going to learn Protopie software. So Protopie is an advanced prototyping tool which is especially designed for animations. You can create a realistic animations without writing a single code. For Figma, there you can have a multiple triggers, but comparatively in a Protopie, you can have triggers which is in a real world that you can create multiple triggers in a Protopie. So for that, if you're going to download a Protopie, just go to a browser and type for a Protopie. So here you can see the Protopie website. So in this website you can see these options. So you can especially design or give animations to devices which is automotive and websites, mobile and tablet devices, and you can give an animations to smart TVs, smart watches, and for any gaming devices. So you have to click this get started for free button. So you just create your mail ID. Once you create an account, or else if you have already an account, you just click a login button. So I did have an account. So the page will be look like this. So there you can see options of personal use, work and education. So you can click according to your usage. I'm selecting the device that I'm going to work on and click get started. Okay. So just click this download studio button. If you are using Windows or if you are using a Mac, there you have an options. I'm using a Windows, so that I choose this button. So it got installed. Okay, so this will be our interface for a Protopie. So in this interface, you are welcomed with this home screen. So under this home screen, there you have a menu on your left side. So you are in your dashboard. There you can see your recent files, which is nothing but the files. So your recent files will be stored here, and there will be an learn option. So under this learn option, there you can get interaction templates. It's basically a community files. You can see these community files like in Figma. So the files, if you want to work with this file, just click, it will got opened. So now I'm going to prototype gallery the same way. Based on the difficulty, based on the level, the files are categorized here. You can use these files too, it is free. And quick start course, so there they give tutorials. If you want to work for parallax scrolling animations, then they given the tutorial. You can just go and watch, it's free. And then the tips and tricks, so all the tips and tricks for doing an animations, they are just given. Yeah. So and finally the events. So now we are going to create a new file. So for that you just go here on your right side. So on your right side there you can see a button new file, which is nothing but a new file. So if you already create any file you just want to open, in the sense you just click this button open file. So now I'm just going to create a new file. So I'm just clicking this button. Once I am clicked that button, the Protopie got loaded. So this is our interface. So the first one is introduction to the interface. In this interface, at the top we get to know the file name. So the file was created but it is not saved. So that just click Ctrl S, rename the file. For example, I'm giving a file name called demo, and then I'm just save. If you want to save a file in a cloud, so for that you just save. If you want to save this file into your local system, just click this button, save as local file. So some of the features are premium, so you have to upgrade for the subscriptions plans. So now we are using a free plan, so that we just save the file in a cloud itself. Okay, so we have created a file, we have created a new file and saved it to our cloud. So under this file there we have an top app bar. In this top app bar we have 3 sections. On the left side we are given with the options to create a shape, to we can import a media files, we can create a text files, we can create a component in the same file. But in the center, in the middle, at the top, you get to know this screen name. So basically what we have learned on, so each and every file is named as a frame or artboard. But now we get to know in a Protopie, this is called as a scene. Okay, so the first scene, which is a frame, the artboard size is 393 and 852. The artboard name was iPhone 16. If you want to change that file in the sense, just click here. So on the center you get to know the file name, the scene name, which means the artboard. The artboard name is iPhone 16. 393 852 is the size of the artboard. You get to know the preview, the running of a file, and what the file have saved in the cloud. So there you can access from here. So there you can see the panel, which is called a scene panel. panel. Scene panel is nothing but it is a frame. So the first scene, which is the first frame, is here. So if you want to rename the artboard, in the sense, just double click on it and rename. This will be your screen 1, okay, or else you can just rename as a home. So like this we can rename the artboard. So based on this origin, the object will rotate. So it got fixed at this point. If I'm selecting origin at the center point, so if I'm rotating the same object, it will rotate from at the center. So and then the opacity, we can adjust the opacity. We can give any radius to the selected object, and thereby we can give a fill color. We can change any fill color. So it will be work same as in Figma. And then border, if we want to give any border in this end, just click it out. Here in Protopie, we couldn't give inner shadows, background blurs. The effects will be like default effect is drop shadow only. We can adjust the drop shadow here using this properties. And touch area. What is touch area? So in a Figma, we get to know about target space, so target size. So in UI, we are always given target size. So I am clicking in this end, the target size, I am just giving a value that you can see the blue highlighted area are the target size. If a user click the area which is outside of some 20 pixels around, they can interact with those pixels. Okay, so these are all the default options. Okay, so likewise all the other shapes will be working on. So here you can see a background blur. So the effect also present here. If you just clicking the background blur and create a shape, there you can see the background pixels got blurred. According to the shape, the background pixels got blurred. So likewise all the shapes will work. And so in nearby you can see a text option. So in the text option, there will be two options out there. Normal text, it will be working the same as other softwares. So just type any word. And the type properties, or we can access the properties of selected type. We can access from here. If you want to change the size of a typography, give any different font from here, and different width. So you can change a type weight from here. So letter spacing, you can adjust all text letter spacing. So here the input type. So input type is nothing but, so the users have to give an input using a keypad, no? So which is called an input text. So for example, taking a search bar, so user have to click and give their input using a typing pad. So that's why there is an input text here. So just I'm giving a radius. And then the placeholder text. So for a search bar, we are giving a placeholder text here. I'm just giving a search products as a placeholder. If I'm clicking here, there it got replaced. We can change the size, we can change the shape using this handles. So yeah, now we are going to see how it works. For that, just select the scene and then go to this preview, just click it out. There you can see the preview sections will open. If user just click here, the typing pad will automatically open. So it is default here. Okay, and then I'm telling. Here we are going to create a basic home screen. So for that, there is a rectangle shape. I'm just draw a top app bar. So there is a top app bar I'm placing here. If I'm clicking the file and previewed it, the outside of the corner won't reflect here. So and then I'm giving a title of a page. Okay, using a text tool. So all the objects I'm created will present in the layer section, and then I'm creating a card using a rectangle tool. So if I'm just drag it out, if you're using an alt and drag it out, it will got duplicated. Okay. If you want to give a media file, which is image file, just select the object, go to the fill, and under the section also you can import an image. So yeah, so inside the image, choose an image from your local file. For example, I'm selecting the image and opened it. Okay, but you can't adjust the view. Okay, the same ways we can import an image, or else we can import an image using this tool, media tool. So we can select an image and then just draw where to import an image, that just draw the shape, and then come here to this thumbnail, click choose image. So I'm imported a GIF file. So likewise all the elements will get uploaded here. So and then I'm creating a new screen. So for that you just click this plus button, a new screen will get created. If user want to click a button to proceed to next page, I'm going to create a new button here. So in Figma we get to know about auto layout, no? So auto layout is especially designed for adjusting the layout according to the child element's length. So now I'm going to create a button. For that I'm selecting a text tool, or else next page. I'm just selecting a text and give auto layout option. So on your left panel there you can select the layer text, and then on your right side I'm going to create a button. So for that I'm just give a name of text, and then using some shape, some rectangular shape. So using your keyboard keys of back arrow, so select the layer and give group it. So once the layers got grouped, it will be looking like a container. So the layers got grouped, but the name will be looking like a container. So okay, so on the second page I'm just creating this layer. So we are giving a basic trigger, a transition trigger. So from the first screen, user wants to move into a next screen. For that I'm giving a trigger of add trigger. You can see that trigger the all prototyping options under this add trigger button. So for that just click it out, select the button that you want to make a prototype, select the button and add a trigger. So user usually tap the button, no? So I'm giving a trigger of tap. So the container which is this group is selected. We are assigning a tap trigger, and what action has to be done after the user click a button or tap a button. So the color has to change. For that, so these are all the options. For that, the color, you just go to the color, and I want to change a fill color to some blue color. Okay, so apply a color to the rectangle shape, not to the group. Okay, once it got tapped, inside the rectangle has to fill the blue color. So now see how it works. Yeah, it will work now. After the button got filled, it automatically moved to the next screen. For that, the dual triggers has to work. So I am just clicking the plus button under this trigger. So what I want to do here is it got jumped to the next screen. So I am selecting the jump trigger. So I want to jump into the next scene. So the scene name is scene 1. I am selecting here. Okay. There you can see the transition effects. You want to move into an instant way, but fade way or pop or slide in, these will be the animation styles. I am just giving a smart, and then easing. Easing is style, animation speed. So for that I am just giving a linear animation speed, and duration is 200 millisecond. So if I just giving a start delay of the same 0.2, which means 200 millisecond. Okay, so we'll test it out how it works. Okay, if user click a next button, the button color is filled with a blue and then it moved to the new page. The same page that you can see, if user want to horizontally move the card in the sense, the user have to select those rectangles, or else there you can see a container. So in a container, under this container there you can see scroll container, paging container. For a horizontal animations, for any kind of scrolling animations, we can select this scroll container and create this scroll container around this. So inside the rectangle, just select all the rectangles and drag inside the scroll container. So it will be working as same as in the Figma itself. For that you can see under this property section, if user want to horizontally move, in the sense change the direction here, okay, and then preview. So there you can horizontally move a card, and user select a button, it moved to the next page. Okay, so now we are giving a basic animation to the shape. So what are all the triggers in a Protopie are? Tap trigger, double tap, we can give a double tap. Some triggers are premium, so touch down, touch up, long press, if user or long press a button, it will work like this, and rotate, pinch. If user zoom an image, for example taking an image, user have to pinch for a zoom, and drag, we can drag and drop a file. So these are all the basic triggers, touch triggers. So at the side there you can say conditional triggers, input triggers. So now we are giving a trigger of some tap. So if user giving a trigger, the action has to made. So move or scale, I want to give a move. So if user tap this selected shape, so the selected shape will move to the pixel of, if you're just clicking here, the default pixels will shown. So I want to move the pixels into 120 in a x-axis. So it will horizontally move, and all the animation speeds will adjust. Just preview the screen. There you can see it will horizontally move, but I am selecting a move to option. What is move by option in the sense? Nothing but you can select, you can give an option of move by one it got moved. So I am giving 2 times it will move into the y axis. Okay, there you can see it will move. So it will move by 2 pixels. And then if you want to delete a trigger, in the sense, just click the reaction and just delete it out. So for a scale, it will got resized. For example, I am giving a 200 of width. If user click tap a object, it got resized. The same wise scale by. So scale by option, the user will you can see double the time the size will scaled up. If user click double the time, it will scales. Okay, so likewise all the actions will work. So now I am going to import a file from Figma. So we are this Protopie is especially made for animations, giving a natural interactive animations, not especially for design. For that I am import a file from a Figma. So you can click here, or else you open your any Figma file. There we can see your Figma file here. So I am giving an interactions in a Figma. For example, take a Netflix OTT streaming platform. So we can adjust the brightness here. So I'm just preview the screen. For example, take this an example. If user want to see the screen, so he have to move the slider up. So the brightness will get adjust. No. So the same wise the user will drag or move down, so the brightness will go down. So this is a basic animations that we can create in a Figma. So the same thing, but the problem is we couldn't fix the position. It will, because there is two stages, one is up and one is down, we couldn't relax the particular position. So for that I'm using a Protopie. So just use one Protopie plugin, go to plugin section and type for Protopie. So now it's loaded into a Protopie software. There you can see all your layers got loaded into a Protopie. So now we are going to add interactions here. So what kind of interactions that we need? So once a user drag this down a slider, the layout, so the rectangle which is having a opacity of dark has to come down. So now I'm add a trigger, select this slider dragger, I'm add a trigger here. So what the user expected to do to drag this, add a drag trigger. Okay, the ellipse one is selected, I am adding a drag trigger. So the action has to be move. So move into a vertical directions. So I am selecting the vertical thing. And then limit. So the limit is nothing but where to stop and where to start the movement. So I am giving a custom limit. The slider is original position of the slider is, so original position is, okay, on y axis, on vertical axis is -4. So the maximum limit is -4. If it is comes down, the limit is 260. Okay, so yeah, just give the limit. So minimum of -4 and maximum of 260. Just test it out. If user drag this, there you can see it won't come out because we set a limit, we set a customized limit of 260 of y axis, that's why. Okay, but it has to work like if user has a release button, so release a dragger here, the opacity has to fill out, the opacity of rectangle shape is filled out. No, so we have to give a solid rectangle of some black color. So the rectangle is here, we'll give an opacity to 100%. If the dragger is come down, select a rectangle and then chain it. So for that, add a trigger button and chained. So this is conditional. If you want to give two actions for one trigger, for example, I am giving a drag trigger. I want to move the slider, at the same time the background opacity has to fill it out. So for that, I am giving a chain condition. So select the rectangle 8, which is background, which is in a background surface. I am selected the rectangle. So yeah, I want to adjust the opacity of rectangle. I am selecting the opacity. Okay, here I am selecting the opacity. So it got chained, the background rectangle got chained. There you can see rectangle 8 got chained here. So we want to change the opacity. So the mapping section will get opened. So on y of ellipse 1 in the sense that you can see the dragger, which is ellipse. So y axis range is -4 is the minimum one. So -4 in the top section, there you can see a -4 pixel. We'll give an opacity of 100. So and then 260 pixel, which the dragger will come down at the 260 pixel. So we'll give opacity 100. On at -4, the range is 0. We'll fix it out and we'll test. If the user drag down to the 260 pixel of dragger, the ellipse, the rectangle shape of 8 is, the opacity comes to 100. If user slides up, the opacity comes to 0. This is how it will work. The difference between a Figma and Protopie is that you can release a pointer at any level. So it will automatically fix the same position when released. So yeah, this is a Protopie software. You can try it out with any device. You can use a Figma plugin of a Protopie. You can import any one screen and do try different triggers. I hope you understand the Protopie software. We'll see you in another video. Thank you.